You're not ready for this. Crypto experts say the price of XRP Ripple coin could soar to $3,000 in a matter of days. It sounds crazy, but they back it up with facts very soon. Ripple is expected to win its court case against the SEC, and that could be the biggest bullish signal of all time. Let's break it down step by step. This video will blow your mind. Without further ado, let's get straight to the point. Disclaimer: the long-running legal standoff between Ripple Labs and the SEC is finally reaching its climax. For nearly 4 years, the crypto industry has watched closely as the fate of XRP, the token at the heart of Ripple's payments ecosystem, became a symbol of the wider fight for regulatory clarity in the digital asset space. And now, with key dates on the horizon and major procedural shifts underway, a final resolution seems closer than ever. Crypto analyst Edo Farina summed it up in a tweet. Here's what awaits for XRP SEC lawsuit officially over. While the legal dust hasn't fully settled, all signs suggest that we are entering the final phase of this case. One that may leave lasting consequences not just for Ripple, but for the entire crypto sector. A key moment arrives on June 16th when the SEC must submit a status update to the U.S. Court of Appeals. This deadline marks the end of a 60-day window stemming from earlier proceedings, where unresolved matters were flagged for possible appellate review. Legal expert Bill Morgan, who has closely followed the case, emphasized that this update could signal whether the SEC intends to continue pushing its appeal or let the matter drop if the SEC does submit new filings or if Ripple responds with additional documentation. It may trigger the procedural steps required to formally close the case. On the other hand, silence from either party might suggest that an unofficial truce is taking shape behind the scenes. The latest developments follow a rejected joint request from Ripple and the SEC for what's known as an indicative ruling. Essentially, the two parties wanted Judge Anissa Torres to weigh in on a specific issue, namely whether she would be willing to dissolve a long-standing injunction. Before officially returning the case to her courtroom from the appellate level, but Judge Torres denied that request, stating that it was procedurally flawed. As a result, any new request must be correctly formatted and refiled if the parties wish to continue that path. What's at stake in this procedural dance is not trivial. A resolution could unlock a significant redistribution of funds, with $50 million directed to the SEC and the remainder of escrowed assets returned to Ripple. Such a shift could restore Ripple's full financial flexibility and potentially impact the liquidity of XRP in major markets, adding another layer of intrigue. A lengthy filing from a third party recently appeared on the court docket. This unexpected document criticized how the SEC has applied the Howey test, the legal benchmark used to determine whether an asset qualifies as a security. The filing challenges the very core of the SEC's argument, questioning the notion of investment contracts. As they pertain to decentralized cryptocurrencies, although unlikely to sway the final outcome, it underscores the broader public interest and legal tension surrounding this case. The crypto community, legal scholars, and financial regulators are watching, and many are questioning whether the frameworks used to govern 1940s. Investment schemes can still apply to 21st century blockchain technology. Meanwhile, momentum continues to build within the broader industry. Jack the Ripper, another prominent voice in the XRP community, recently tweeted, "The SEC announced it will be hosting its final crypto roundtable to discuss crypto DeFi on June 9th. Crypto is here to stay. That sentiment captures the mood of many whatever happens in court. The crypto revolution isn't waiting around. The outcome of this legal saga may carry precedence far beyond Ripple's offices. If the SEC backs off, or if the courts ultimately rule in Ripple's favor again, it would weaken the Commission's broader campaign to classify crypto assets as securities. That would be a major shift in the regulatory landscape, affecting how new tokens are launched, how exchanges list assets, and how developers structure decentralized applications. And of course, crypto experts are making the most daring predictions in anticipation of Ripple's victory. The tension is at an all-time high. Yeah, and not just for XRP holders. If Ripple wins, it could unleash a tidal wave across the entire crypto industry. We're talking about XRP skyrocketing, new regulations being rewritten, and major players scrambling to reposition. The entire crypto world is holding its breath. So what exactly are these bold predictions? Some of them will absolutely blow your mind. And you need to hear this. So tweets from key voices in the XRP ecosystem reveal a sentiment that's boiling over into full-blown excitement. Crypto Sensei captured the diamond-handed mindset perfectly like this post: if you never sold your XRP. And it's clear many didn't. Not when panic sellers were being shaken out, as a Monarchs puts it. And certainly not now, when people like Steph are confidently declaring XRP is about to explode. For many believers, this moment feels like the final buildup. Before liftoff, Ripple Pumpkin didn't mince words when he predicted a 4,000% surge for XRP on the day the case is finally resolved, describing it as a massive green candle incoming. That's the kind of explosive optimism that's becoming more common as legal clarity draws near and utility continues to grow. It might sound wild, even delusional to some, until you remember that XRP has already done the seemingly impossible. Back in the early days, XRP went from fractions of a penny to over $3 at its peak in the 2017 bull run. That's why XRP Dragon's recent post stirred such a buzz. He argued that a similar leap from $3,000 to $3,000, while extreme, shouldn't be dismissed outright. That would represent a 900% increase if XRP could do that. Once on speculation, he implied what could it do now with actual adoption, utility, and clarity. Of course, not everyone is convinced that a repeat of that parabolic rise is realistic. Critics point out that XRP initial price discovery happened in a low liquidity environment, and that the current market, more mature, more crowded, and more regulated, presents serious headwinds. Others say that $300 to $300 might be a more sensible upper bound, citing XRP growth trajectory during its true breakout phase, starting around 2 cents. But for long-term holders, those figures, even 50x from current levels as XRP Avengers predicts, would still be life-changing. And then there are the truly next-level predictions. Levi, another voice in the XRP space, says simply XRP to $500. As outrageous as that may seem to some, it ties into deeper discussions around XRP's potential role in facilitating global payments, and especially its possible integration into central bank digital currency systems. If XRP were to become a foundational bridge asset for CBDCs across borders, the demand could drive price action in ways the market has never seen before. And that's what's at the heart of all these predictions. Not just hype, but hope. Hope that Ripple's years of legal battles, infrastructure building, and global partnerships will finally bear fruit. Hope that utility will win over speculation. Hope that holding through the storm was worth it. So while some of the numbers might sound outrageous, 4,000%, 99,900%, even $10,000, they're not just empty dreams, they're expressions of belief in a project that survived more scrutiny, resistance, and pressure than almost any other crypto. With the SEC's case nearly over June 16th, looming as a key date for legal updates, and the market watching closely, XRP's story is far from finished. Now let's talk about XRP Ripple's partnerships, because what's happening behind the scenes is absolute madness. These aren't just deals on paper. We're talking about global financial institutions, real-world payment systems, and quiet moves that could change everything. Trust me, this isn't hype. It's a bullish signal hiding in plain sight, and once you see it, you'll understand why XRP's next move could be historic. So Ripple's vision for global payments goes far beyond simple cryptocurrency transactions. It's about creating a seamless bridge between the old and the new financial worlds. Recent findings from crypto researchers shed light on Ripple's unique ability to integrate with some of the most entrenched financial infrastructures on the planet, including Nature, SWIFT, and even the Federal Reserve. This isn't just speculation or marketing speak. Official documents repeatedly confirm Ripple's compatibility with these traditional networks, suggesting Ripple is designed not to replace, but to coexist and enhance existing systems. Consider Nacha, the backbone of automated clearinghouse payments in the United States. Ripple's technology aligns so closely with Nacho's self-regulatory framework that it could potentially operate under similar rules and standards. This means Ripple's distributed ledger technology, which relies on decentralized user participation, can fit within the regulatory and operational boundaries, not just sets for banks and financial institutions. Instead of disrupting the system, Ripple offers a model that could bring innovation without legal chaos, an important point that could reassure regulators and institutions alike. Similarly, SWIFT, the global messaging system for international payments, and Ripple serve complementary roles rather than conflicting ones. SWIFT facilitates communication between banks, but doesn't settle payments itself. Ripple's blockchain, on the other hand, functions as a full settlement layer, actually moving value rather than just messages. The documents underscore that SWIFT and Ripple could easily exist in the same space, even envisioning scenarios where SWIFT might leverage Ripple's distributed ledger to increase efficiency. This interoperability is a game changer. It means Ripple isn't a threat to the established order, but a powerful tool that can plug into it. What does this mean for XRP holders and the wider crypto market? Global adoption of Ripple's technology by major financial institutions could be the catalyst that propels XRP price to new heights. The reason is simple. If Ripple's infrastructure becomes the backbone for cross-border payments, settlement, and compliance, all under the watchful eyes of regulatory authorities like the Federal Reserve, demand for XRP as a liquidity tool and settlement asset will skyrocket. The documents also point to Ripple's potential reach beyond the Nacho-style networks, such as CPA in Europe might adopt similar models using Ripple's settlement protocol. This global scalability, combined with regulatory compliance, places Ripple in a prime position to modernize international finance, reducing friction, lowering costs, and speeding up transactions that today can take days. And naturally, the whales couldn't miss out on such a massive opportunity to grow their capital. But this time, the whale isn't just any investor, it's a financial institution stepping in with serious weight. What happens next will blow your mind. Keep watching. So XRP just got a massive boost that's shaking up the market in a big way. WebU International Limited, a global mobility services company, has announced plans to invest up to $300 million into XRP. This isn't just a casual buy-in. It's a strategic move designed to create a substantial XRP reserve while fueling the development of blockchain infrastructure for BU's ambitious global expansion, according to Whale Insider. This investment is part of a broader strategy where WebU aims to build an XRP-based payment network that could revolutionize international transactions by making them faster and far cheaper. What makes this particularly exciting is the scale and backing behind the move. EBIS plans to secure the $300 million through borrowing from banks, institutional credit lines, and shareholder support. A clear sign that traditional financial institutions are seeing XRP as a valuable asset to integrate into their systems. This move also points to growing confidence from large financial players, or whales, who have the power to influence XRP price significantly. when a heavyweight like WebU begins accumulating XRP in such volume, it's not just a sign of bullish sentiment. It's a signal that the token could see substantial price momentum as liquidity tightens and demand surges. Nan Zheng, the CEO of WBAs, explained that the initiative aims to tackle some of the long-standing issues in cross-border payments, those costly delays in high fees that plague the current system. By integrating XRP ledger technology, WeEBUS intends to streamline these processes through digital wallets, blockchain-enabled booking platforms, and even a Web3 loyalty program. The vision is to link travel and payment services seamlessly on a global scale, making international travel more accessible and affordable. Their renewed collaboration with Tongchang Travel Holdings, a major Chinese online travel firm, underscores the growing real-world adoption of XRP, showing how blockchain tech is becoming central to large industries beyond just finance. This type of large-scale institutional interest could act as a powerful catalyst for XRP price. When whales like WebU accumulate millions in XRP, it reduces the circulating supply on the market, creating upward price pressure. Moreover, such moves often encourage other investors and institutions to take notice, sparking a positive feedback loop of increased demand. Historically, large buy-ins from institutions have preceded major rallies in the crypto market, and BU's $300 million investment could be the spark that sends XRP into a new price orbit. And the only question remaining is, what are your thoughts on that? Are you bullish on XRP, Ripple? What are your predictions?